Hey everyone, so today we are going to be making Anger, as you can see here. So he looks great. We've got the angry eyes, the necktie, and this full body here, as you can see. You can also add a yarn chain or a keychain to the top, depending on what you'd like to do there. So the materials that we're going to need are, first of all, 4-ply cotton yarn. At least this is what I use, 4-ply cotton yarn here. And you'll need them in the colors dark brown, white, or cream white, and red. Feel free to use any other type of yarn that you're used to as well, and the respective hook as well that you're used to. Otherwise, with 4-ply cotton yarn, I recommend using a 1.9mm hook, as you can see here, but feel free to use anywhere from a 1.75 to a 3mm hook. So that's up to you there. Then you'll also need, of course, some 6 or 7mm black safety eyes, as you can see that I have here. You'll need a pair of cutters. You'll also want a sewing needle. So this is the one that I use. It's actually a leather needle, because you can see it's like a little bit sharp, sort of at the bottom here. And it just looks a little bit different, and it's really nice to use as well as you're sewing things together. And of course you will need some fiber filling and some pins if you'd like to use them as well. Okay, so that's all you'll need for now. Let us get straight into it. Alright, so to begin, you're going to need your dark brown colored yarn, as you can see here. And to begin, we're going to start by making a magic ring. Now, if you don't know how to make a magic ring, I usually tell you to have a look at my beginner tutorial playlist for crochet. So check that out first and learn some of the basics, and then you'll be fully ready to come and try these out. So the first thing we're going to make inside this magic ring is 6 single crochet stitches. And I just want to give you a heads up at the beginning so you can see what type of single crochet stitches I make. So first, we have the yarn going underneath the hook, just like that, and then the yarn goes over the hook to pull it through. And we call that yarn under, yarn over. Feel free also to do yarn under, but I wouldn't recommend yarn over. And if you need to have a look at those different types, I've mentioned 3 now, so feel free to look at the link that you can see at the top corner right here. Click on that, have a look, and then come back here. So yarn under, yarn over is what I recommend here. And we are making 6 single crochet stitches inside this magic ring. So we've got 3 here, 4, 5, and number 6, just like that. Feel free to pause as well at any time if I'm going a little bit too fast for you, and then press play when you are ready. Now we're going to pull this piece right here. So I'm going to pull that to close that magic ring gap. And then from here, you can either decide to crochet in a spiral, which is where you will have no slip stitch, and chain 1 at the end of each round. And you'll just continuously crochet, and that's where you'll add a stitch marker, probably in this stitch right here, or the first stitch that you make, in order to continue in a spiral. And just be careful with your stitches so that they align really well, and adjust where you feel you need to adjust. Otherwise, I'm going to show you how to do it with a slip stitch and a chain 1, and we'll finish like that at the end of each round here. Okay, so for round number 2 now, we are going to make increases in every single stitch space, as you can see. So an increase is where you make 2 single crochet stitches inside the same stitch space right here. So let's do it again. This is going to be now the second increase. So in this stitch space, I'm making 1 single crochet stitch, then I'm coming back into it with my hook and making the second single crochet stitch, just like that. And I want you to complete this all the way around so that you will have a total of 6 increases, giving you then a total of 12 stitches at the end or completion of round number 2. So we're almost finished here, round number 2. I've got 1 last increase to go, just like that. And then at the end of here, if you're crocheting in a spiral, you'll just continually go. But I am going to finish with a slip stitch and a chain 1 right there. We are up to round number 3 now. So what we'll do for round number 3 is we make a single crochet stitch first, followed by an increase, 1 and 2, just like that. And so I'm going to get you to repeat that again. So single crochet stitch first, followed by an increase, 1 and 2. And now just repeat that another 4 times. So that same pattern, single, increase, all the way around until you have 18 stitches at the completion of round number 3. Okay, so now we are up to the 4th round, as you can see here. So for the 4th round, we're going to start with 5 single crochet stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, and number 5, just like that. And now what we're going to do here is create a spike bubble stitch. So for a spike bubble stitch, you want to wrap the yarn. Then you do not want to enter the yarn in this position here. Instead, you're going to go down 1 space. So not here as you normally would, but down here. And this is the spike, but because we're making a bubble stitch at the same time, we call this a spike bubble stitch. So wrap the yarn first, come to this space, pull the yarn through. So you have 3 loops on the hook, and then you're going to pull the yarn through 2 loops on the hook. Then you'll be left with 2 loops on the hook, just like that. Wrap the yarn again, come in the same space, pull the yarn through 2 loops on the hook, and one more time, wrap the yarn, pull it through, pull it up, and pull through 2 loops on the hook, just like that. You've got 4 loops now on the hook. And from here, all it's going to do is you're going to pull the yarn through all 4 loops on the hook, and you'll be left with your beautiful spike bubble stitch. From here, you're going to make another 5 single crochet stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, and number 5, just like that. From here, we're going to do the exact same thing. Put this inside out or outside in, and then just make your second foot. So remember, you're wrapping the yarn, you're coming down in this space here, elongated stitch space. So we've just done 1, wrap the yarn first, same stitch space, pull the yarn through, pull it up, and pull it through 2 loops on the hook. Last time, pull it up, and pull it through 2 loops on the hook. Just take that very slowly and comfortably as you can. And then we pull the yarn through all 4 loops on the hook. There we go. And we will finish off here now with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 single crochet stitches. But on this very last single crochet stitch, we are actually going to change the yarn color to white or cream white, whatever you have available to make the white shirt. So let's do that now. So here I grab my white colored yarn, and before I finish this last stitch, the single crochet stitch here in the 4th round, I'm going to pull the white yarn through. So I just pull it like that. Then I'll come in here, or continue on in your spiral as you would, or here we go. I'm going to have these yarn tails over the top of the hook as I complete this 4th round with a slip stitch and chain 1, just like that. Now for the 5th round, and I want you to be careful with it. So here we're going to make the first relatively loose slip stitch, just like that. Make them loose, guys. Don't make them too tight because we have to work into them in the next round. So we're going to do this all the way around. So that's my 2nd one. Here's the 3rd, and you can see how I'm making it relatively loose as I work my way around for this 5th round. So you can see these are looking quite good. You can even make them a little bit more loose if you wish. So we'll just keep going all the way around until we finish the 5th round. So I'll let you guys do that. Finish the 5th round, and then we'll come back together to start the 6th round together. Round number 5 is now complete with these loose slip stitches all the way around. Now for round number 6, this is what we're going to do. We are going to work in the back loops only all the way around. And that will be fairly simple and straightforward. So the back loops only, and we will have completed 18 single crochet stitches at the end of round number 6. So 18, remember 18 single crochet stitches in the back loops only all the way around for round number 6. So I'll let you guys do that, and then we'll start round number 7 together. Okay, well done guys. So for the next 2 rounds, this is rounds 7 and 8, we're going to do the exact same thing. Just make 18 single crochet stitches all the way around. And that's for the next 2 rounds, round 7 and rounds number 8. And once you've finished those 2 rounds, then we'll come back and we'll complete round 9 together. Okay everyone, so we've just finished round 7 and 8. I'm just going to chop off this dark brown yarn because we actually don't need it anymore. And now we're going to start round number 9 together. So I've just chained there to finish off that round. And we'll do it like this. We'll start off with 4 single crochet stitches. 1, 2, 3, and 4 in white. Now you're going to grab some red yarn, just like this, and then we're going to weave the red yarn through, because now we're changing the color to red, so that the red goes next for the 5th stitch in round number 9. And we are also going to make the spike bubble stitch as you know before. So we're coming right here, we're going to wrap the yarn first, not go here in our normal space, but come 1 space below that, and then pull the yarn through, pull it up, and pull it through 2 loops on the hook. Let's do it again. Wrap the yarn, pull it through, pull it up, and then pull through 2 loops on the hook. Last time, wrap the yarn, pull it through 2 loops on the hook, giving yourself 4 loops on the hook right there. And this is where we change the yarn color back to white and pull it through all 4 loops on the hook, giving yourself your beautiful first spike bubble stitch for the first arm. Now at this point, you can have some of the red yarn, especially the yarn tail at this point, coming over the top of the hook, just so you can weave it in for a couple of stitches, maybe just the first at this point, and make 1, this is the first single crochet stitch, the 2nd, the 3rd, the 4th, the 5th, the 6th, and finally the 7th. And it's here on the 7th where we will change our yarn color back to red and give it a little bit of space over here. You don't want to pull this too tight, and then pull it through just like that. And then you're going to make the same spike bubble stitch down below, and you want to have the white yarn coming on top just so you can weave it in as you go. So here's the first, wrap, pull up, pull through 2, wrap, pull up, and pull through 2 again. Now if this does get a little bit loose, you'll want to pull this as much as you can, and then you can even sort of wrap it as you go, but you don't need to, so do that as you will, but just make sure all the yarn is nice and even throughout. And then you'll change the yarn color back to white as you saw me do there, and then we are going to continue on with 1, and I've wrapped the red yarn just in the first one there, as you can see. Not all of them, because I don't want any red coming through here. So that's the 2nd single crochet stitch, the 3rd, the 4th, and the 5th right here, finishing off with a regular slip stitch and chain 1 as we normally do. Okay, so for round number 10, super simple at this point. What we're going to do is the following. We'll make a single crochet stitch first, followed by a decrease, and this is an invisible decrease in which you make, or your hook goes through the front loop of the first stitch, and then either the front loop or the 2 loops, so the front and the back loops of the 2nd. It's completely up to you how you want to do that. But I'm going to go through the 2 front loops, I find that the easiest, and then pull the yarn through. And we've just made 2 single crochet stitches into now 1. So let's keep repeating that pattern all the way around. Whoops, sorry. So single crochet stitch first, followed by an invisible decrease, single crochet stitch, followed again by an invisible decrease. And let's just continue doing that all the way around until we finish round number 10 together. There we go. So single crochet stitch first, followed by an invisible decrease, and we have 1 more to go. Single crochet stitch, followed by an invisible decrease, and just before we finish that invisible decrease, we're going to change the yarn color at this point to red. So let's get that red and pull it through. Now we'll come into this first stitch of the round, have the white yarn coming on top of that so we can weave it in there and make the slip stitch, then chain 1. Alright, so we're up to the 11th round here, and we're going to be working in the back loops only. So you can see here I'm working in the back loop, and we'll do the following: single crochet stitch first, followed by back loop only. Make sure you have the yarn all on the hook, followed by an increase. 1 and 2, just like that. Let's do it again. So back loop, single crochet, and then back loop, increase. And you want to complete that pattern all the way around for round number 11, and you will have at the end of round number 11 18 single crochet stitches. So continue that, guys, and then we'll come back together. For the 12th round, right now we're going to do the following: single crochet stitch, 2 single crochet stitches, followed by an increase. Super simple, just like that. Work it again. So 1 single crochet stitch first, followed by another single crochet stitch, followed by an increase, and you want to repeat that all the way around, and then you will have 24 single crochet stitches at the end of round number 12. Alright everyone, so we are up to round number 13, and from rounds numbers 13 all the way to round number 13, 14, 15, 16, and 17, so that's 5 rounds, we are going to just make single crochet stitches all the way around. So 5 rounds of 24 single crochet stitches. And once you finish that, we will then begin the next round together. So this is rounds 13 to 17, so 5 rounds of 24 single crochet stitches, and we'll come back together on round number 18. Alright, so we've just finished round number 17 here, and all I get you to do is just pull this a little bit longer just so it doesn't fall apart, because what we're going to do at this point is start adding the collar. So what you want to do is have your doll the same way around, so you don't need to turn it upside down. It's going to be the same way around, but you're going to attach your hook. See how this is the slip stitch here. You're going to attach the hook to the first loop of round number 10. So you're going to have it there, and then you're going to grab your white colored yarn at this point, and then do the following. So let's work this together. So you've got your white yarn. You're going to attach it first by just pulling the yarn through, chain 1, and make a single crochet stitch just like that. So that's your first single crochet stitch. Give this a little tug as well. Now let's make another single crochet stitch in the next loop. So pull this through and have the yarn weaving through at the same time. So you want it, technically you want it, as you have the hook go through the loop, that front loop, you want this yarn tail to be on top of the hook at the same time, and then you continue on with your second single crochet. Then we're going to come into the third loop and do the exact same thing. So that's 3 now. I'm not going to weave this in anymore, no need. And we're going to have, this is the 4th, here's the 5th, so that's 5 single crochet stitches right there. And now what we're going to do is we're going to make a half double crochet stitch in that same 5th front loop, as you can see there. So I'm just going to make this half double crochet stitch just like that, pull through all those loops. Now from this point, all you want to do is chain 2, 1 and 2, just like that, and then you're going to come on the side of that half double crochet stitch. So you're going to find the point where you can fit into the side of it, just like so, and then you're going to make what is known as a picot stitch. So you're going to pull this through and then basically make a slip stitch into that loop on the hook, and there you go. Now from here you're going to make another half double crochet stitch in the 6th front loop. So just pull that all the way through until it's all the way there, just like that. And then you'll just make a slip stitch in the same stitch space right there. Okay, from there we're going to half double crochet in the next front loop. So half double crochet like that, chain 2, 1 and 2. From here you'll make another picot stitch in the side of that half double crochet stitch. So just get your hook in the side there and slip stitch into that loop, which is known as the picot stitch. From there you want to make a half double crochet in the next stitch or front loop space. So let's make that half double crochet stitch like that, and then you can also make a slip stitch in that same loop as well, just like that. So there's our collar right here, as you can see. And from here we are now going to make single crochet stitches all the way. So there's 1, 2, 3, and lucky number 4, followed by a slip stitch in the very first single crochet stitch that you made. So just grab your hook in there and make that slip stitch just like that. Then you can pull the yarn through and cut your yarn just a little bit, and we will weave this in a little bit later. You can also cut this tail here because we wove this in for with a few stitches as well. And now you can see, there we go, we have our wonderful collar for our Anger character, as you can see here. There we go. And now we have at the top here, remember how we pulled this a little bit looser so that it wouldn't untangle as you pulled this? So what we're actually going to do now is we don't need this section here, so we're just going to cut this like that. And you'll leave it like that, and there's your slip stitch. Now from here, what we're going to do is start making the top of the head. So if you can see here, we have this sort of triangle shaped piece that lays on the top of the head like that. So that's what we need to make right now. So let's get into that. Okay, so we've cut all of this. So we cut this yarn right here. And now what we're going to do is, see, this is the front, and then this is the back of our Anger right here. So what we want to do is we want to find 11 stitches that go all the way across, that kind of align with these arms and allow it to fold over on top of the head like that. So what I'm going to do now is, see how I've got my slip stitch here at the back? I'm going to count 5 stitches backwards. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Insert my hook here. Grab my red colored yarn, pull the yarn through, chain 1, and from here we're ready to start our 11 single crochet stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, here's number 5. Then we have our slip stitch, and this does not count as a stitch. You want to go over the top of it, and you can weave in these yarn tails as you go. Here's number 6, pull them a little bit. Number 7, 8, 9, 2 more to go, 10, and finally number 11. So you can see we've made 11 single crochet stitches at the back here, and it's aligned to the center of our body with the arms on the outside of those. Then you want to chain 1, and this is row 2. Turn this around, so you're working on the back now, and you'll just make another 11 single crochet stitches. Super easy at this point. So 1, 2, 3, and continue all the way until you get to continue all the way until you get to number 11. And there we go. So we've finished that second row right there. We're going to chain 1 now and turn. And this time you're going to make a single crochet 2 together. So that's just a decrease. It means enter your hook into this first stitch, pull up the yarn, and enter the hook into the second stitch, pull up the yarn. You now have 3 loops on the hook, and pull the yarn through all 3 loops on the hook. And you've just made a single crochet 2 together, which is a type of decrease. It's just not an invisible decrease, and that's more than fine here. Then we're going to continue along with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 single crochet stitches, followed by another single crochet 2 together. So pull up the yarn, enter into the last stitch space, pull up the yarn again, and pull the yarn through all 3 loops on the hook. Fantastic. Turn your work. Now we're up to the 4th row, and we're just making 9 single crochet stitches all the way across. Finish those 9 right there, chain 1 and turn around. Make another single crochet 2 together on the side there. Continue now with another 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 single crochet stitches with another single crochet 2 together to finish this round off, or this row off. Chain 1 and just work your 7 single crochet stitches going all the way back. We've just finished those 7 single crochet stitches. Chain 1, turn your work around, work another single crochet 2 together, then another 3 single crochet stitches, 1, 2, and number 3, and then finally another single crochet, 2 together to finish that off. Pull the yarn through all, chain 1, turn around, and you will complete this row with 5 single crochet stitches. So there's 2, 3, 4, and 5. We're almost there. Chain 1, repeat the same pattern, single crochet 2 together, just like that, single crochet only 1, and then another single crochet 2 together, just like that. Chain 1, and you'll finish off with 3 single crochet stitches, 1, 2, and number 3, just like that. Well done, guys. Okay, so you can see how it kind of folds over at this point, which is fantastic. That's exactly what we want. And now at this point we're going to start making single crochet stitches down the side, all the way down the length of our side portion. So you can see here we've got the side, so let's start that now. We've got a single crochet, 1, come into this section, here's number 2, there we go, number 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Can we finish on 9? We probably can. So there's another single crochet stitch there. So I've made 9. You might have 8, 9, roughly around the same amount, but you can see we've made those single crochet stitches all the way down till we get to the end. Now once I get to my first single crochet stitch here at the top, I'm going to start making slip stitches all the way around. Make them a little bit loose as well. So there's my first slip stitch, my second, my third, and we'll just keep going, okay, until we get right to the corner there. Okay, we're up to this last stitch here in the corner. Make that slip stitch. And now we are up to the very first stitch, as you can see right here, and we're going to be making single crochet stitches all the way up into this point. So let's start that now, let's count. So we've got 1 single crochet stitch, 2, this just gives it a nice neat trimming, 3, or a border I should say, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, here's my 9th, and I could probably finish right here at the top here with a slip stitch, or yeah, let's go with a slip stitch. Let's see how that looks. Okay, that is excellent. So we've got a slip stitch right at the top there. Now we're going to grab our yarn, pull it through, and pull a good length through, maybe about 30 centimeters, because we'll need this to start tying to our anger once we fold it over, as you can see here. So that's what it will look like as you start folding it over. But first we need to include our eyes, 1, 2, and the stuffing or the fiber filling that will go inside here. So let's do that now. Alright, so I've just used 6mm safety eyes, but feel free to use 6 or 7mm safety eyes here. These are black safety eyes, as you can see. Now what I've done, just to make it easier for you to count this, see where this first red row or round starts? Count that as number 1, then work up, number 2, 3, and you can see here 4 and 5 is where these 6mm black safety eyes lay between. So between rounds 4 and 5, if you count this first red round as your first round. So between rounds 4 and 5 in the center here, and leave about 2 or 3 stitches, 2.5 I have here, apart between, as the spacing between these two eyes. Once you've done that, as you can see here, I want you to now add fiber filling or stuffing into your body, and then we will move on to sew the top part. Alright, so we're ready to start this next section here. We're going to sew the head, or the top of the head, so that it is sewed to the sides of this head, as you can see here. Now you want to make sure that these 3 stitches plus that slip stitch is aligned so that it fits between these 2 eyes right here. Now our slip stitch finished off right over here, as you can see, and I've just inserted this in the back here, so it's come out at the back right here. Now what you want to do, and we don't want to make this too tricky for you, we're not going to start sewing just yet. I want to start sewing over here at the side, at either side, it doesn't matter, because what you're going to do is work your way from here to here, and then from here to here, and we'll sew this front part last. So in order to start on one of the sides, what I'll do is I'll insert this yarn into some of these stitches right here. I hope you can see this. So we're just going through some of these stitches. It's kind of like weaving in this yarn until you get to the end. And don't worry, we are going to be filling up our head with some more fiber filling as we get closer to finishing the sewing part. So we're just going to weave this all the way through. As you can see, I've just woven it through. And now we're ready to begin the side. So what I might do here is I'll just insert my needle into the very corner of the head. Now, if you'd like as well, just to keep yourself aligned, you can pin this front part to the head. You will have to remove those pins later on, but just to help you keep aligned, you can leave it there and keep a pin there as well. You don't want this forehead part to be right at the back here. You want it kind of leaning over just by 1 and maybe 1.5 stitches up here. Now, once you've got that, you're going to kind of fold this at the back here. And now from here, all we are going to do is start working in the back loops of this top section, and then the front loops of this side section. We'll stop round about this point here, maybe about here. So let's try it now. So we've got the front loop here, and let's go into a back loop section. Maybe let's start with this back loop over here and pull that all the way through, and then you're just going to continue on working through your front loops of the side. I kind of used this one already before, so I just have to be careful. So sorry, here's the, let me just find it. Here's the front loop, and then we're working into the back loop of the top section. And you'll just keep doing that over and over until you reach around about this point right there. So again, front loop into now the back loop of that top section, pull the yarn through, make sure you're not weaving in your fiber filling as you go, or just remove it as you go if you do end up doing that. And again, front loop into back loop. And as you can see, we're starting to form our nice head by sewing these pieces together, as you can see here. So you might just do one more over here. We finished at the side now over this side. This is looking great. So you've done all of this side here. Now we're going to leave, as I said before, you're going to leave this top part, and we are going to now weave in our needle all the way. Just work your needle through some of these stitches. Take your time, guys. No need to rush this until you get to this corner as well. So we're just hiding this yarn, and it's fine to weave this in at the back here because you won't see it. Remember, it's kind of toppled over anyway. So we're going right into one of these corners, down the side over here, just like so. Pull it out and make sure we're not weaving in our fiber filling as we go. And now this is the point where we can start adding a little bit more fiber filling. I might just sew it just a little bit before I add some fiber filling here. Alright, so we've got our front portion of the head, and remember we are working through the front stitch of the bottom row, or the front loop of the bottom row, into then the back loop of the side stitches, as you can see here. And we're just going to do that over and over again until we reach the end. and remove any fiber filling that you may have sewn together there. So I will be doing that right at the end. So continue on now. You guys are doing such a great job. Pull it where you need to. Make sure you've aligned it properly. If you need to go through some of those same stitches just to align it properly, do so. Don't fret about that. Just make sure that this section is in the middle of your 2 eyes up here. And you're going to keep doing that. So let's do maybe one more. There we go. Okay, so we've got this front section now ready to go. Let us now at this point add some fiber filling. So grab your fiber filling and just insert it in. Grab a pair of cutters to really condense it and compress that fiber filling together. You don't want to fill it up too much because you don't want this to bump up the top, but make sure it's nice and evenly spread around in the head there so that you've got a nice firm head and a nice firm body as well. So we're just going to keep doing that, and then I'll show you what to do at the very last moment to finish off the sewing of the head. Alright, that seems relatively decent at the moment. I might just fill in a tiny bit more fiber filling, grab a pair of cutters and really poke it in there so it's like compressing one on top of the other. That looks fantastic. Try to keep that fiber filling as far away from where you're about to sew as well, so kind of really push it in there. Eventually you want to start squishing the head so it aligns properly and it's not wide but it's more vertical as best as you can. So you can see here we're starting to get that vertical look. We still need to add the eyes and the anger portion of this, but we are looking good so far. I might just add even a little bit more because it feels just a tiny bit flimsy for me. So we'll do that. Just add some of this fiber filling. Really poke it in here. Don't forget, you guys can pause the video if you'd like at any moment you wish to help you along with this. Okay, so for the last part, what you were going to do, and we might pin this if I have some pins. Here we go. I've got some pins right here. So what I'll do, so I want to just make sure that this center is focused on the center over here. Okay, so we are not going to be sewing around the tops here. We're going to be sewing more around this section right here. So let us try that. So as you can see here, we've kind of sewn from here and not at the top here. So it's sewn right here on this row. So let's do that now. You can just work your way in and out, and it should be fairly easy to do. We can just do that one step at a time. So kind of coming out here. And then what I will do is come across here, because we're not going to face forward, we're going to go on the side. Remember, we're working on the side. And then I want to push this over as best as I can. We'll work through these front laps, as you can see. So you can see how I've got these stitches at the top here, and I'm just working in between these stitches. I'm not going through the front and back loops, I'm going through the side. So the side is where we are aiming to go, across the top here. Move that fiber filling if it gets in the way, and then we're going to come at the top here and do basically the same thing over and over. So I'm going to come over this side, down here, remove fiber filling, and then we go at the top here again. You're going to come through here and just weave your yarn through the side post of the single crochet stitch there. Then you're going to come to the back. We're almost done. And perhaps come around here just to really finalize this. And last but not least, we'll work through this next side post, or maybe this one over here. There we go. So that's the side post of that single crochet stitch at the top. And there you go, guys. So that is the finishing touch, and we might just work our way through here so we can hide this yarn at the end. I'll just put it over here, and we'll just weave a few just weave that yarn a ways first, so like come from here to here, anywhere where there's red, and just go in a diagonal point. Align it with those crosses of that single crochet stitch. Don't go up or down or to the side. Work your way diagonal. Probably not this way. You still can, it's okay, but you can see that there's this piece right here that's flowing over the top, so I'm going to follow that lining. Just like that. Once you've done that twice or 3 times and you feel like it's nice and secure, you are more than ready to cut that yarn and weave it back into the face, or hide it in the face. You can see I'm going to push that in, and now you can start getting rid of any of that excess fiber filling that you may have accidentally weaved into some of your sewing stitches. So that's what I'm going to do now, and then we will continue on with the facial details. Before we do those facial details, remember this piece of yarn tail that we had at the end of the collar? We're just going to weave that in now. So I've just put it through the eye of my needle. I've inserted this needle here, and I'm coming out here, and we'll just pull that, and then we'll cut the excess over here and leave that inside the body to hide. So there we go. We've hidden that. We've got a nice head, and now we're ready to start those facial details. Let us now work those angry eyes. So what we'll be doing first of all is we're going to make some eye highlights. So grab your little leather needle or your sewing needle, something that's small and sharp, so you can get around the outer portion of the eye. You're kind of making a moon crescent around this eye, if you will. So what we'll do is grab our needle and yarn, work it all the way here. You can even go further up here if you'd like to. Actually, I might do that now. So the needle is going to, and just try and wriggle your needle there as best you can. And I'm going to work mine just maybe over here. So it's kind of like the side portion of this eye. Just like that. And we're going to work it all the way to make that moon crescent, remember? So I'm going to have my needle sticking here, and I'm going to do the exact same for the second eye. So I have my needle come out there. As I pull, I'm going to hold this in place and kind of move it so that it fits around that eye. And I'll do the same straight over here. So I'm going to have the needle come around that middle portion right now. I can have the needle come out anywhere at this point. And as you'll see, we're going to pull this nice and tight, pull it down on the side, and there we go. So those are the moon crescents of the eye that we want. And now we're going to start these eyebrows. So we might have it such that we have either coming from here, I think I might have one portion here and one portion maybe over here. So let's go back inside this stitch. I'm going to come up over here, just like that. And we're going to work our way all the way down to this space right here. And then I'm going to go through, skip a stitch in a little bit. You kind of just want to make these even. They won't be the same, the exact same every single time, but you just want to make them so that the eyebrows are facing downwards or at a downwards angle. And then here I'm going to finish off over here. So it's about maybe 2/3 stitch spaces across, but 1 stitch space in height, and you're just working that angle down here. Once you finish that, the needle will come where the needle was inserted in the very beginning. That way you've got 2 yarn tails there, and so that's what it's looking like now. You can even make it more angry if you'd like. You could put these up 1 and up 1 if you'd like. Otherwise, it is more than fine just like that. So with these 2 yarn tails right here, you're going to grab them, and you're just going to tie them in a regular double knot. So that's my first knot right there, and here is the second double knot, so that just secures it in place. Tighten that second double knot a little bit more than the first, cut it, and then push that double knot into the head to officially hide it, just like that. So there we go. Those are the facial details of our anger. And now what's left is the necktie to finish. Okay guys, so we're up to the necktie portion, which is our final portion of our anger character right here. So what I want you to do is just let yourself have a little bit of a yarn tail, maybe about 7 centimeters all up, 7 or 8 centimeters. Then you will make a slip knot, and you're still using your 1.9mm hook. But what I have done with the yarn is I have made it such that with my 4-ply yarn, I've pulled 2-ply or 2 strands apart to give me now 2-ply yarn. I just want to make this necktie a little bit thinner than what it would be if I kept my 4-ply cotton yarn. If you're using different yarn, just get creative. Try to make that necktie in line with, or in ratio with the body. So for me, I need to have a smaller necktie. See what you guys can do. So I've just got 2-ply yarn right here. I'm making a slip knot now, just like that. Next, we're going to chain 3. 1, 2, and 3. Skip this first loop, as you can see here. Skip that all together and come into the very last space. And then just make a regular single crochet stitch, just like that. Kind of made that pointy section there. Chain 1 and turn your work around. So this tail should be at the bottom here. Then you're going to come into this single crochet space right there and just make a regular single crochet. There you go. And then in this space over here, you can see it kind of leans a bit more. You don't want to go back into this spot where you can see that there's another spot that you can insert that hook. That's what you want to do. Then you're going to pull it up and just make another single crochet stitch right there. And now you've got this sort of triangle portion right here. From here, you're going to chain 1 and turn your work, and it should be fairly simple from here. You're just making 2 single crochet stitches, but make sure your hook is entered into both those front and back loops. You don't want to miss any one of those loops as you're making your single crochet stitches, especially on that last one. Just like that. So we've got maybe, let's do another row. Just chain 1, turn, and make another 2 single crochet stitches. 1 and 2. Okay, this necktie is looking very good, so let's lean it on here. And I think that's where we'll finish it. So what we'll do with this last one, guys, is to chain 1, and we are going to make a single crochet 2 together. So I'm going to help you through this right now. Your hook will enter into that first stitch space and pull up the yarn. Now don't weave that yarn through these 2 loops. Instead, you're going to insert the hook through the next single crochet space and pull up another loop on your hook. So now you have 3 loops on the hook. We have done this before, just making a decrease, but it's a single crochet 2 together type decrease. And then pull the yarn through all of those. And from there, you're just going to pull the yarn through to finish that off. And there we go. There's our necktie right here. Now all that's left to do is add some white, so we get that white little squiggle. So we've got our complete necktie here. Okay, so I've just taken 1 ply of my 4-ply white cotton yarn right here. I don't want to have thick yarn, so if you can't take away 1 ply, just use some fine thread and add some pieces together and then do this. So I've got my needle. I've woven the white yarn through the needle, and I'm just going to insert my yarn. And all that we're going to do at this point is make some squiggly lines. So I'm just going to work this white yarn back and forth, a little bit diagonal, just like that. Come back over here. You don't need to be super neat, is all I'm going to say here. Put that through, and then we'll come over here. Just want to make those squiggly lines is all you want to achieve with this. And here will be my last one. So we've made a couple of those squiggly lines. That looks pretty good. And now at the back here, you can start weaving this, or you can have these 2 yarn tails come out at the same portion. Depends what you want to do at that point. We just need to somehow secure this in place. I'm going to have my yarn come through. I wove it a little bit. Then I might tie this in a very delicate double knot. And you can tie a little bit tighter on that double knot. Cut that because it will be hidden. Or you can weave it in later. Depends how you want to do that. But this portion where I've tied it will be facing the back. Then you'll have this part at the front. So all I want to do now is start sewing this tie to my anger to finish this off. So let's do that right at this moment. So I'm going to push this in here, take my anger, and as you can see, it's going to be woven right in the middle of our collar. You can come out anywhere because we are going to go back in that same spot. So there's our collar right here. And all I want to do is come back through here, come back out here, and weave it through the top portion of the collar just to secure this in place, and then come back into the same stitch space over the top. And that is the top portion of the tie, nice and secured now. And for the bottom, all we need to do is basically choose a position where you want that tie to be stuck to the body. If you don't want this tie to be stuck, just weave it in at the back. Completely up to you how you want to do this. Some of them I've woven them in, for some of them I haven't, so it depends on what you guys want to do here. So I'm going to take this now, pull that through. We've got a nice tie just like that. You can even push it a little bit that way depending on how it aligns well for you. And now all you'll do right at the back here is the same thing we've done at all times, is tie these two pieces together a little bit tighter on that double knot. And here we go, cut the yarn, and finally push in that excess yarn so it's hidden. And there is our final anger piece right here. So you can see here's our anger. Looking like all the way around. You've got your eyebrows, your collar, your necktie, your pants. You can even add a yarn chain to the top. All you need to do if you wanted to add a yarn chain is make a slip stitch at the top, chain 50, make a slip stitch in that same spot, tie those two yarn tail ends together so that it is nice and firm right here. Otherwise you can also add just a regular keychain as well. Completely up to you guys how you want to do that. We've made 3 angers right here, and that's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed that tutorial. Please don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks, bye.